I'm Ralph Peterson, and in this video, I'm going to compare a microfiber rag, cleaning rag, to a regular cotton-based cleaning rag to find out which is more effective when cleaning and disinfecting in a nursing home or in a healthcare facility. For good measure, I'm also going to compare them to the good old-fashioned paper towel. Which one is more effective? The very expensive, tightly woven, tightly knit, thousand thread count. I don't know what the thread count on microfiber is, but it's a lot. These things are very durable. They're said to trap more bacteria than a regular cotton because the cotton is not so tightly woven together. So this is very expensive. This is the cheapest version, and then we have the disposable paper towel. Which one kills bacteria? Which one sanitizes better? Which one should you be using in your nursing home? That is the focus of this video. However, before we get started to get too far into it, let me assure you that this will not be the only thing I'm talking about. That's the focus of this video, but I am going to do a webinar, a free webinar. It's going to be like an hour long, maybe a little longer than that. And it's going to be on all the cleaning procedures that the CDC has outlined. The CDC has produced a 144-page cleaning document for healthcare facilities. I have read, reread, dog-eared, highlighted, and taken notes on every square pages of that 144-page document. And I'm going to give you a free webinar highlighting the most important things that you need to be focusing on in your facility to make sure that you are doing everything you can to stop the spread of diseases, whether it's the coronavirus or the flu or VRE or C. diff or MRSA, whatever it is you're dealing with in your facility. Most notably now, of course, is the coronavirus. And that is exactly the reason why I am doing this video. This video demonstration I have done for years with my own staff. I run a housekeeping company, and so I do this demonstration for my staff all the time. I rarely have ever done it. Certainly have never done it publicly like this, and have never done it for administrators. And the reason is, quite interestingly, the coronavirus has been both, for those of us in housekeeping who do housekeeping as a business, it's been both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, I know it's kind of like an understatement, but I mean it in this sense. In one hand, I have been talking about infection control and cleaning procedures and processes and chemical use and contact time and kill rates for 20 years. And you know how many people have listened to me? Around zero. Very little people focus on contact time and killing time and chemical use and all that. It's kind of like something that they don't focus on. So it's been kind of good that the coronavirus has super put the spotlight on it. It's good for people like me who own housekeeping companies that work in long-term care, nursing homes and hospitals, because all of a sudden people are calling me, my phone's working off the wall, because people are now interested. Like, wait, how long should that be down? How long should I put chemical down? What cleaning rag should I use? And the cleaning rag debate has been going on since microfiber was created. As a matter of fact, as a supplement to this video, because I'm just going to be talking about microfiber rags, I'm going to do a demonstration. I'll do another video on microfiber mops. What's the best one to use? A microfiber mop or a cotton-based mop? I'll do that video as well because that's another interesting, everybody's asking about it. Facilities are wondering if they should invest the money into microfiber. Should they ditch the old cotton? And what about the disposables? Well, let's get down to it. So first things first, let's just talk about a couple of things. Number one thing I want to talk about is contact time. The biggest challenge or the biggest misunderstanding is about contact time. How long does it take for germicide to kill certain bacteria, certain viruses? I have heard everything when it comes to the coronavirus. I have heard everything from 10 minutes to 2 minutes, 5 minutes. I was in a nursing home recently, and I'm not making this up. I wish to goodness I was making this up. I went into a nursing home recently, and the mattress was soaking wet. I walked by, and there's puddles on the mattress. There's puddles on the dresser. The dresser's wood, by the way, and they have puddles of chemical on the dresser, puddles of chemical on the bedside table, as if somebody walked in and just poured chemical on the dresser, poured it on the bedside table, poured it all on the bed. And I said, what is happening here? Why is that even a thing? It's all over the floor. I'm like, what are you guys doing in here? And they said, well, we heard that to kill the coronavirus, the contact time is 10 minutes. To say that there is a complete fundamental breakdown of understanding of what cleaning actually is would be an understatement. And it's caused me to rethink everything about the way I train and communicate with people, because there is such a misnomer about contact time. So so I don't even know where to begin. So let's do this. So first, I have a double pail. If you're using a spray bottle to disinfect with, let me ask you to check yourself. You should not be using a spray bottle to clean and disinfect resident areas, resident rooms, or anywhere. And the reason is because with a spray bottle, you spray a surface, and then you take a dry rag and you dry the surface. And so there goes your contact time right out the window. That's the traditional theory behind it, which is why also, because it gets all over the place. You can't fully cover a surface area. That's my big thing. You can't really cover a full surface area if you're spraying and then wiping it dry. It's much better to take a clean rag, fill it full of germicide. And so that's what I'm going to do. So this double pail system has two sides to it. It's double pail. This side has clean chemical. This side is dirty. There's no chemical in here. There's a bag in here. And this is where I put my dirty rags. So my clean rags go in my chemical. And I'm going to pull these out and I'm going to wring them out. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Just to try to keep it fair, I'm going to try, let me see if I can attempt to do this. I'm going to pull out both the cotton rag and the germicide rag at the same time. You can see that. And I'm going to try to wring them out together at the same time, because I don't want one to have more water or chemical in it than the other one. So I want to wring it out really good. And how much should you wring it out? Well, that depends. What does it depend on? It depends on what you're cleaning, of course, and how far you intend to go with your rag. I'm going to try to get as much water out of it as possible, because I'm only going to be doing a demonstration here, cleaning here on my desk. Whereas if you're cleaning an entire resident room and you're going around the room with a rag, you're going to want it to be a little more damp than what I have it, because otherwise it'll be dry before you get to the first bedside table. And then what you'll have to do, never re-dip your rag. If your rag gets dry, you put it into dirty, you grab a new rag. You grab a new clean rag. Never re-dip. You re-dip once, and you know what happens? Your water is no longer clean. It's no longer sanitary. You just combined them. You don't want to do that. So, first things first. Everyone is very curious about contact time. How long does it take? People are saying to me that the CDC is recommending, and they're not, by the way. We can look at the document and see that they're not recommending microfiber. They're just simply making the distinction between the two. But regardless, people are saying that the CDC is saying that you should use microfiber because it leaves more water or more chemical on the surface for a longer period of time, hence creating a longer contact time, which then will translate into furthering making sure that you kill the coronavirus. So as you can see, I put a little piece of red tape here on my desk, and I'm going to do one side. This side facing you closer is with the microfiber rag. This is the cotton rag right here, and I'm just going to clean off my surface. It's going to be the cleanest desk I've ever had, and there you go. So now, all I'm going to do is wait to see which side dries faster, and just for good measure, I will go ahead and I will start a timer, and you're going to see that it takes, for the chemical I'm using a 10-to-1 ratio, which is a standard ratio for disinfecting solution, 1 part disinfectant to 10 parts water, or 1 to 10 ratio. It takes about a minute. Some takes a minute or two, but I think this is going to probably take 2 minutes to dry. That means there's 2 minutes of contact time where the disinfectant is alive and active on the surface, back to battling it out, duking it out with some virus. So about 2 minutes, you're going to see they're still damp right now, and it is, well, it's 43 seconds in, 44 seconds in, so, and it's still wet. I can still feel it's wet to the touch. However, I'll even pull out, for my next point, I'll use my paper towel. I didn't use my paper towel in this because I don't think it's relevant. Nobody's using paper towel to clean and disinfect. I'm only using it as an example to show you that it does not, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This and this do the same job. I just said it. A paper towel and a microfiber cloth do the same job. They are just as effective at cleaning and killing bacteria and viruses and the coronavirus as anything else. This is just as effective as this. Now, let me explain how that's even. Oh, you know what? This is looking pretty good. I'm a minute and 30 in. A minute and 30 in. That's not a terrible contact time. A minute and 30. I would say, and they're both even. There's no difference. They're both drying. I'm going to call it about a minute and 40 seconds. They're both drying at the same rate, which is good, which simply means that this is not holding more water or releasing more chemical to the surface than this is. The regular cotton rag did just as good of a job at leaving the surface wet for the same amount of time. Okay, so there's no difference in contact time. However, that's only one piece of it that I wanted to show you, that it doesn't matter as far as like how long the water's going to stay on there. But let's talk about contact time altogether. Let's first. By the way, the reason I keep stopping and thinking is because I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to explain this, because the misnomer is so challenging for me because it's such a easy misnomer. It's so blatant and easy for me. Look what I bought. I bought Kool-Aid. That's right, good old-fashioned Kool-Aid. As a matter of fact, when I do a hand wash and in service, I do this hand wash and in service with my staff a couple of times a year, and I use Doritos or Cheetos. You know those long stringy things, or Doritos. You know, they have the cheese on them, and so when you eat them with your fingers, your fingers get all cheesy and sticky and ooey and gooey. I'll hand out a Dorito to all my staff, and then I'll have them crumble it in their hand, and then their hand's all cheesy and gooey, and then I'll give them a hand sanitizer. I'm like, now wash your hands with hand sanitizer. Go ahead and give that a try, by the way, because hand sanitizer does not wash that goop off your hands, and neither does hand sanitizer. That's my point. Neither does it do a good job of removing bacteria and viruses from your hands. As a matter of fact, the best thing to do is wash your hands. You have cheesy stuff on your hands from a bag of Doritos. You go into the sink with some soap and some just singing happy birthday to yourself. Your hands come sparkly clean. You go to the hand sanitizer and try to just wipe it off. You don't do any kind of a job. And so that's my whole point of using Cheetos or Doritos to do that hand washing in service, is just to prove to them, show them I'm using the cheesy flavoring, the coloring, the coating as an example of a virus, of a bacteria, of COVID. And so that is why I brought Kool-Aid. So I'm just going to take Kool-Aid and I'm going to spray it on both sides of my, I'm making a bloody mess in here. Okay, so I have Kool-Aid. You can see that. No, I'm inhaling it. All right, so I have Kool-Aid. I'm going to try to pat it down a little bit so it's a little sticky, so it doesn't, yeah, there you go. That's nice. That's nice. Let's see, now that's, look at what I'm doing for you. And I'm in a white shirt. That's right, that's what I'm doing for you. So, let me grab a different rag. Let me throw it in the water. I'm all Kool-Aid. You know, in theory, this is a great experiment. In practice, I'm trying to make a point that perhaps you should already know. And so for many of you seeing this, maybe this makes absolutely no difference at all. And so first, I'm going to take my, let me just go back to my representation here. You can see I have Kool-Aid on the table here. I have a piece of tape dividing my table in half. I have a cotton cleaning rag, and I have a microfiber cleaning rag, and for good measure, because it's fun, I also have a paper towel. I'm going to throw the paper towel, by the way, in the clean water and wring it out. Let me start there. Now I have a paper towel that's wet with germicide. And this, my friends, is Cleaning 101. This is the basics. This is what you learn when you first start taking baths on your own. Here we go. It's not about the soap and the water or the disinfectant on the rag. It's not about the what soap is on the rag or the disinfectant's on the rag. It's about the action you take with the rag. Oh, watch this, Danielson. So I'm using a cotton. Again, this is cotton. I'm going to do half my desk here. I'm a housekeeper, so I'm not bringing it to the floor. I'm a gentleman. I know how to clean. I'm going to keep it all in this washcloth, in this cotton-based washcloth. Now, if I show you this washcloth, look at what happened. Oh my gosh. Looked like somebody died. This is bacteria. Look at this. I'm going to shake it out. Oh, I could shake it out a little bit. Oh, that's not good. We pick it back up. Oh, look at this. It's so perfect. Now, look at the desk. You can see there's no more Kool-Aid there. I haven't done this side yet, but there's no Kool-Aid there, and it's all just from a regular cotton rag. We can see that, yeah? Cotton rag picked up all the Kool-Aid. Isn't that amazing? Now, the question is, I literally have stained my fingers. The question is, will the microfiber rag do a better job? Will it pick up that chemical, that disease, that COVID, that VRE, that murder? Will this do a better job than... Of course we know that it will not do a better job. It will do the same job. Look at this. The same job. It too picked up all the Kool-Aid. And it too, if I shake it, some drops off. Oh no, I got to do it again a little bit. It's just a little, it's because it's not virus, it's because it's an actual Kool-Aid. But look at this. It's the same, it has the same. What's the difference between these two? What's the difference? Nothing. Nothing is the difference. They claim that it has a tighter woven fibers, and so it grabs dust and particles and bacteria more. Okay, well, for all the love in Holy Land, it's not about the woven pack. It's not about how tightly woven the material is, because I could, with a wet paper towel, pick up the same amount. I have a little bit I didn't get up here. Let me grab all that. With a paper towel. The reason we don't use a paper towel is because it's not reusable, because it's a waste of money, because we're going to have to throw it out, because we're going to be filling our garbage cans, and nobody wants to fill garbage cans unnecessarily. So it's a better job. It makes more sense to use a cleaning rag. But that's just it. So now when we talk about contact time, we're talking about, is there virus left on this desk? That's the question. Did we effectively get rid of all the virus on the desk with our cleaning rags, or is it still there? Okay, the answer is it's no longer there. It's no longer there. I just took cleaning. I'm going to take another rag just for example, and my fingers are still pink, so I want another rag. Cleaning is made up of two parts. One part soap or disinfectant, and one part mechanical, one part physical, one part scraping, scouring, scrubbing, wiping, swiping. This is the part of cleaning. This is how you do it. If you do this enough, which isn't very much, nothing is on the table anymore. There's nothing there. Not even at a microbial area. It's gone. I'm telling you, I did this demonstration once for someone, and they're like, well, it could still be there. And just because I was a jerk, I was rubbing it until the paint started to come off. And I'm like, look, the paint's gone. Do you still think there's bacteria? And he's like, yes. Listen, if I've taken the paint off, there's no more bacteria. There is no more. This is how you clean the surface. The rag doesn't matter. The rag doesn't matter. For cleaning the surface, the rag doesn't matter. The disinfectant matters. Why do we use disinfectant then? If the rag doesn't matter, why do we use disinfectant on the surface? And it's easy to answer that question. It's because you don't put the same vigor and pressure in all parts of the entire, your fingers are not, you want to douse the entire thing in germicide. You do want to wipe it all down. You do want it to have evaporation, but where's 99% of the bacteria going to end up? In my cleaning rag. In my cleaning rag. Now, let's say the contact time is 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. You know how long it's going to be in this cleaning rag? All damn day, because it's going to go in my dirty cleaning rags, which aren't going to get washed until the end of the day. And then they're going to get washed in healthcare. We wash using our whole idea is to raise the pH to the roof. By the way, that's another reason why we should consider maybe not using microfiber, because microfiber doesn't do well with high pH levels. And in laundry, especially in healthcare, how we kill critters, how we kill diseases and bacteria in laundry is not just with hot water, friends. It's with raising the pH level. The pH level goes through the roof, and then we have what we call neutralizer, which is the final thing before the fabric softener that goes into the wash. And that neutralizer brings the pH level right down. Microfiber doesn't do well in a high pH solution. Not only that, but they sell, you don't know this, if you don't know this, here's something. They sell specific washing machines that are designed specifically to clean microfiber mop heads and rags, because the tightly woven knit makeup of a microfiber rag is such that it needs a different, well, you can't even wash microfiber rags with other linen. Should we go to a microfiber rag? I'll say, sure. You don't need to. It makes 0 sense. Not financially, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't clean any better. It doesn't leave any chemical down any further. And it's not about what rag you use. Again, a paper towel is just as effective as a microfiber rag, because all it is about chemical or soap. I would even argue that. I would even just use regular soap. Soap and water. How is it? How is it? And again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a researcher. I am a housekeeper. I am literally just a housekeeper. And let me ask you this. How come soap and water works on my hands, but it can't work on the desk I'm touching? Oh, no, on the desk you're touching, it has to be some acid-based, bleach-based disinfectant. I mean, ridiculous. Who buys into this crap? We use disinfectant because we have to, but honestly, soap and water washes my hands. It would wash this desk just fine. It would wash the floor just fine. Matter of fact, soap and water helps preserve wax on the floor a lot longer than disinfectant does, so I'd much rather soap and water on the floor. I don't use soap and water in a nursing home. Don't fret. I use disinfectant. I just don't think you have to. I don't think it's necessary. But that's just me. That's your demonstration. I know I said it was only going to be a couple minutes. Here we are, 22 minutes in. But hey, that's what you get when you talk to me. Microfiber versus a regular cloth. I say go with the cheaper alternative, the regular cloth. Teach your housekeepers the importance of scrubbing vigorously, and you will be just fine. By the way, let me add this one tiny little caveat at the end here, and this one's just for all the housekeepers out there. Oh, this is so fun. I can tell you, for more than 20 years, every year, I get called to the principal's office and get a talking to about proper infection control and touching elevator buttons and handrails and telephones and making sure that we disinfect the entire area for December and January and February because of what we call the good old flu, the outbreak of the flu. And the whole time, for more than 20 years, we just nod our head and smile and say, of course, knowing that it has nothing to do with the surface. It has everything to do with proper hand washing, which we can't do a thing about when it comes to nursing aides and nurses and other staff members. Unless you want housekeepers to set up hand washing stations where we legitimately wash their hands as they walk in and out of resident rooms, there ain't a thing we can do. There's not a surface we can clean. There's not a chemical strong enough. There's not a microfiber rag made big enough. You can put it all on us all you want, but it's all about hand washing and mask use at this point. Wear your mask. How about that?